Hey guys, welcome in this new video. I hope that all of you are doing great. In today's video, we are continuing on the trade breakdown series with two trades that I took on GBP Yen and GBP CHF. So before we start, as always, if you are not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you do that so that way you are sure to not miss any new videos coming out. Alright, so as I said, today we are taking a look at two trades. One is on GBP Yen and the other one is on GBP CHF. So first of all, here is the profit that I made. If you guys follow me on Instagram, which you can do that right here, well, you have seen already a lot about this trade. You have seen my entries, my analysis, but today I want to break it down for you guys in this video in hopes that it helps you and with the purpose of simply maybe making it a little more easier for you to understand these charts. So these trades could have been either short-term trades or long-term trades depending on how it develops after taking the trades, and it basically ended up as short-term trades because I've been in those trades for about few days since last week basically. So they were not very long-term trades, but they were also not really short-term trades as people say, for example, in day trading. So that's more swing trading, we can say. So as you saw in the title and in the profits that I showed you guys earlier, well, those trades ended up as really good trades. Probably some of the best trades this year in the first 2 months of 2019. So that was really good movements that we got on the GBP pairs. Pretty much all of them went very aggressive in the last 2 days, which is what we will see when we jump on the chart. If you guys would like to learn more about how we trade, work with us directly and join our trading group, make sure you check out the first link in the description box below, and it will bring you over to my website, which is my trading course, and there you will find all the information about the course in itself and how you can join us. Alright, so let's jump on the chart, take a look at these trades. I will start with GBP Yen and then finish with GBP CHF, and as always I will show you guys everything about those trades. So let's do that right now. Alright, so we are now on my chart. Let's take a look at, first of all, GBP Yen, as I said. So let's go on the higher time frame. As always, I will show you guys the overall view of the market, the entry, the stop, the target, and the evolution of that trade after taking it. So first of all, what we can see on the weekly chart is that we have a down move, we have a up move, and we have another down move right here. Now, the question that we need to ask ourselves is that, is this enough of a correction to actually see the next downside? In this situation, the answer would be yes, but at the same time, there is a possibility of developing into a bigger pattern, which is what I think is actually happening. So we have one, we have two, we can maybe see one more up here eventually. Now, it will not necessarily go that way, or it will not necessarily be a pattern like that. I'm just drawing this as an example, but overall I think that it's actually developing into a bigger correction. Now, when we go on the lower time frame, let's go already on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, what we can see is that we have this main impulse here coming back up, and we got a pretty big correction right here. So I don't know if you guys remember, I'm not even sure if I actually made a video about that trade. I'd have to check, but at least I showed it on Instagram, that I actually had a sell from here. So I sold right here and I actually took profit around those levels. So that was the last trade basically before this one on GBP Yen. I took this basically sell in the last wave here of the correction, and when I saw that it was probably starting to reverse, then I simply took out my profit, and it did exactly what I thought it would do, meaning reverse and break out of the correction. Let's go on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, what I waited for was a bigger correction. So we had, for example, this one, but that was a lot too small for me. I was looking and waiting for something a little bigger to actually get into the trade, which is what I got right here. Now, when we look at this correction, we see that we have 1, 2, 3 waves, very distinctive, and then we got actually the breakout right after that. So when we got this impulse up, this small correction, and the breakout of this one, well, I simply took the trade right here. My stop was under this low, and that's very important, and the main reason why is because if we would have came back down and break this level, then there was a very likely chance of actually this coming back down totally for a midterm downside, I would say. So that's really the main reason why the stop was there. After that, we got some more corrections here, nothing really crazy going on. Then we started breaking out of the correction. When we broke out of the correction, I added another buy, which was right here. So I actually had two positions open on that trade. And then for the target, let's go back on the 4 hour. So I had two targets. So as I showed you guys, I think it will go up for, you know, a very long time. That's a long-term forecast that I made at the beginning of the segment of the video. But that was not my target, right? I'm not planning to stay in this trade for like months or even years. Obviously, I had other targets, right? So my main target was around those levels right here. There are many reasons for that, not only because of the fibs, right? That would be way too simple. And then my main target was around these levels right here. Also, not just because of the line that I have here, but it's part of the reason why. Now, when we go back on the lower time frame and see how it went after taking the trade. So you see, guys, that we actually had, well, I don't know why I say we, I had a trade here and another one here. Then it went back up. We made another small correction here. We made one more up. And then when it started coming back down today, this is when I got out of the trade. I think I got out somewhere around those levels. So that was a pretty good trade overall. That was around the place where I was looking, as I showed you guys, to actually exit the trade around those levels, basically, that I was looking for. So that was a pretty good trade. Overall, I had two positions. My stop initially was here, and then I just, well, closed the trade as I showed you guys today. So that's really much, you know, there's not that much more to say about the trade. That's really the overall view and the most important things that we needed to know. Of course, I don't show every single thing in those free YouTube videos, obviously, because I need to keep a lot of things as well for my students, right? For the traders that I trade with on a daily basis. Well, these are the people who get access to everything, but of course I cannot give that access to the people who are not in Reversal Master. But here, you know, the point of making these videos is that I want to make trading for the new people and even the people more advanced a little bit a lot simpler than what, you know, you can find on internet or whatever. Because in reality, the structure behind trading, how we view the chart, etc., can be seen pretty simpler than what a lot of people make it seem. And that's, you know, the point of these videos is to help as many people as possible and just, you know, make it easier to understand, make it, you know, just so that everyone can have at least a sense of direction and a sense of understanding of what is truly happening. So that's always my goal with those videos, and, you know, that's why I'm doing them. Alright, I'm completely off subject. Let's come back to what I was talking about. So we saw GBPN. Let's go on GBPCHF, which was the second trade that I took. So let's go first of all on the higher time frame. Now, on GBPCHF, the very long-term forecast is pretty similar to GBPN. So we have a down move, we have a up move, we have a down move. The question is, are we coming back up here eventually to make a bigger pattern, or are we already coming back down? As it stands right now, we are missing information to know which direction it will go on the higher time frame, which is why this trade was initially a short-term trade. GBPN could have turned out to be a more long-term trade, but this one was a short-term trade, and that was my plan when I took the trade. So when we go on the lower time frame, well, we have a down move right here. We have one up, one down, and we are coming, well, we were coming back up right here to actually probably make a bigger pattern here, or as I showed you guys, we'll simply continue upside and eventually break those levels. So let's go on the lower time frame. So we see on the 4 hour that it's very similar to GBPN, right? On the higher time frame, meaning we have this impulse, we had a bigger correction. I knew that we would eventually break out and continue on the upside, and I just waited for a confirmation to actually get in this trade. So let's go on the 1 hour. The entry, as you guys can see, was right here. There was a very specific reason, simply because when we were breaking out of these levels right here, well, we had a strong possibility of this pattern here actually being over, and we would go for the next impulse, which is exactly what happened. So that was my entry. The stop was only under these levels. It was pretty close to the entry point, and the reason why is because when this was forming, we had a possibility of this actually turning out to be the first wave, and then this would be a correction and we would see more downside here eventually, which is why I needed to put my stop here, because I didn't want to stay in that trade if we would actually go for this possibility. Then so that was for the entry and the stop, and then the target, well, as I just showed you guys, my main target was around those level, which is where we actually went eventually. But the true target that I had, that was more for like the technical analysis part of, you know, the chart. But the real target that I had, the level that I was really looking for, was this level right here. I knew that eventually we would break this level. That was pretty much, you know, like 90% sure that we would eventually break there. There was a possibility of not breaking and, for example, going back down right after that. But you know, there was more chance of actually breaking out than not breaking out, which is what I was looking for when I took the trade. So that was around this level was actually the real target that I had. And then, like I said, this one was like the highest target that I was actually looking for. Then let's go back on the 1 hour. So I took the trades here, and then when we got around those level, I closed the GBPN trade and this one at the same time, meaning we got this up move right here. We actually reached the target I was looking for, and I waited after that to see what was going to happen, because I'm not just closing the trade simply because we reached the level, because it could have gone much higher. So when it touched the level, I simply waited to see what happened, and then on the lower time frame, I actually saw a sell setup around those levels. So when we broke out of the sell setup, which was a possible indication for either a reversal or at least some downside, I closed the trade around those levels. So that's pretty much it for the trade on GBPCHF. As I said, well, it's similar than GBPN. It's not the exact same setup. The patterns are different. The overall view of the market is also different, but there are a lot of similarities between those two trades, which is why I decided to put both of them in this video. So that was the trade breakdown for GBPN and GBPCHF. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again. I hope that it helped you and that you learned something from it. If you did, please share this video around. I would like more people to see these videos because I feel like they have a lot of value inside of them. Alright? So on that, take care, trade with care, manage your money well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.